What's up, YouTube? Here I am for time number 17 making this video. I made a little script for this so that I can try to stay on track, and I tried going strictly off of the script, and I'm just not good at doing that. I also said that I wanted to be real and raw about everything, so it's exactly what I'm doing. My goal is to do this one take, no cuts, nothing like that. And then after doing that, I realized that I was saying something that I wanted to say, but I wasn't using the right word. So it was coming across not the way I wanted it to come across. So as you can see, I titled the video, How I Failed as a Business Owner. And have I actually failed? Like, is the small business, did it go down under? Did I fail the business? No, we're fully open, we're operating, we're actually profitable, and we've been profitable the past 3 or 4 months or so. Things have been so much better now after realizing just how irresponsibly and poorly I was managing the business. But I'm fixing to give you the rundown on how I failed as a leader, how I failed as a business owner, what I did wrong, and what I'm doing differently going forward to fix all of those things, as well as not get back to where we were and where we are today. So essentially, two things happened. One, I overinvested. I also prematurely invested, but let's talk about over-investing first. So we moved from our 1,200 square foot facility to this now 4,000 square foot facility. And while doing so, I wanted to keep the same aesthetic and make sure everything looked the same, because perception is reality. And when you have a good looking shop, you're going to have more people trying to come to your shop. So that was very important to me, is to make sure that everything looked good. I strive for excellence in everything that I do. So I wanted to make sure that the shop looked excellent. So I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on electrical, on paint, on epoxy flooring, on Swiss Trax flooring. We got into window tint. We went for training on that. And that cost thousands of dollars, plus the opportunity cost of not making money while we were gone for that. We bought a plotter that was, I think that's like a $7,000 plotter. We've probably got, I don't know how many thousands of dollars worth of window tint that we've bought. And with taking that on, we also took on more subscriptions for our tint software, and had to buy a computer to run the tint. I over-invested in the computer. Instead of buying a $500, $600, $700 computer to run the tint software, I future-proofed myself and bought a $3,000 MacBook Pro. I had no business doing that. That was stupid. But, you know, I did it because I thought that, like, hey, we're going to make the money back on it. I was being dumb. Very, very irresponsible investing on my part. I was trying to make everything look as good as possible, and try to do everything as high end as possible. And it was just dumb decisions. You know, I should have poured that money into marketing, instead of stuff that, like, the computer's not making us any money. The flooring's not making us any money. It's nice to have AC. It's nice to have heat, but, you know, that was a lot of money that we used or spent that we could have, I don't want to say we could have not spent that. It gets really hot down here, and when it gets cold, it's chilly, and it's hard to work in that shop when it's cold. So that altogether by itself was close to 15 grand just for the AC and the heat. So I say all that to say I over-invested like crazy. I take full responsibility for that. Obviously, I'm here talking about it now. If you have a small business, really think about what it is that you're investing in. If you do not see that it's going to make you any more money, then don't invest in it. Because at the end of the day, business is about making money. It's about profiting. And, like, money doesn't rule my life by any means. God rules my life. I try to keep God at the center of everything that I do. My priorities essentially are God and my family, and then my business. And I try to keep it that way all the time. It's a very hard thing to keep God in front of family. However, I try my hardest to keep it just like that: God, family, business. With all of that, I also prematurely invested in the business. I hired an employee to come in when I did not have the nest egg that I needed for this employee to come in. I thought it was going to take them about a month or two to get fully trained on the detailing aspect and his intro into polishing and all that kind of stuff. And I was way wrong. It wasn't until about 3 months ago that he was fully trained and ready to do things by himself, and that I could trust him to do things by himself. It was tough at the beginning, and it was my lack of leadership ability that made it tough. I wasn't leading him the way he needed to be led. I wasn't training him the way he needed to be trained. I was getting frustrated because he was missing stuff and not doing this right, not doing that right, and I would just take it all over and do it myself instead of teaching him the way he needed to learn. So that's all my fault. That's my responsibility. I failed hard in that manner, but it ended up costing us a lot of money for me not training him the way he should have been trained. So here we are today. We've learned from our mistakes, and this is not our last batch of mistakes. We've got more mistakes to make that we're going to learn from, and hopefully we can catch those mistakes sooner than it took us to catch these mistakes. But here we are. We're going to try our best to stay as profitable as possible and turn around and get all of this debt that we've acquired paid off. That way we can do bigger and better things. And yeah, we're excited about what's to come. And I'm excited to bring everybody along this journey. This is just one business of the many that we have in the pipe. We've got another business that's located in the shop that operates out of the shop that we run, that we're going to start pouring into that once we get everything settled with this one. And then we've got about 4 more that are locked and loaded that we're ready to blast off. We're not ready to blast them off, but we mentally are ready to get to those and do those. But for right now, we're going to keep on enjoying this process and seeing what we can make out of this. And yeah, we hopefully will do great, and yeah, we'll bring you along the journey. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next week. Don't really know how to end the video. On that note, we will see you next week.